Thank you for Patreon now for donating to the Patreon.
Hey guys, it's Vanity Ezel, back on our Card Fight Vanguard Ezel and the Vanity weekly review. So hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let's start, shall we? This time we have, I think, the end of the Toushirou reveals officially, and they're moving on to some set 12. Yeah, set 12 reveals, and yeah, there's just a lot of stuff to go over. So let's go ahead and get the final end of the Sword Boys out of the way, so I can stop thinking about their existence for another few months before they come back again. First up, we have Toushirou Kiwame, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, AK, the thing that reminds me of the Beetle swordsman from, what was the name of that movie? What was it? Kubo and the Two Strings. There we go. I was like, what was it? Start with the K. Token, Daishi, Tanto. Auto rear guard this unit attacks into anything. If your vanguards are grade 3 guards, apply K power to the end of the opponent's next turn. That is the first time I've seen an ability like that. That is a free 5k for the next 2 turns when it attacks into anything as long as the vanguards are grade 3 or greater. So if you find a way to restand him, he's going to keep getting the power. Interesting 4 of tech into like any deck that can restand rear guards, because honestly he's going to be a good beat stick rear guard. Then we have Aikita Toushirou Kiwame, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base. I gotta say, I love the pink hair, and I love they gave it a counter charge go, because in my mind just seeing those 2 colors looks beautiful together. Another Tanto card, auto and placed on rear guard, circle from the hand, drop a hand card to counter charge 1. Why couldn't we just get a counter charge like this in the normal game state, like a ditch card to counter charge? Pretty good, and I feel like any Nirvana fan is probably going to be like, where was this card? Because we could have used it, because I think Nirvana more or less has hand cards to burn depending on how you build your deck, so being able to, I don't know, yeet a hand card to drop something and get a counter charge would be worth it, but take what you can get with a nice 3/4 of a nice counter boss heavy deck. Then we have Honcho Toushirou Kiwame, grade 1 boost, 5k shield, 8k base, or the thing I swear is just a cook, because I don't know why, looking at this thing's hat, I just see chef, and there's nothing else I see in that. Continues to be regarded as units 2k for each of your other units with Toushirou, Gokotai, or Ichigo Hitofuri in their card names active on both players' turns. So if you have a full board of all of those, then this unit would get plus, it says for each of your other units, so it would get plus 8. No, 10. All around, pretty solid. Like, not a bad skill. It's an easy plus 10, so, or at least plus 3 probably, so not a bad support card for itself if you build your whole entire deck around this thing. Then we have Doudanuki Masakuni Kiwame. I'm not even going to bother trying to repronounce the thing I got wrong. Uchi Katana, grade 2 5k shield, 10k base. Auto rear guard when it attacks into anything. If this unit is boosted by a Wakizashi unit, or if you have a Uchikatani ability Kiwame Crest, this unit gives 5k power to the battle. Cool. Instant 5k if you're either playing the Uchikatani Crest or if you're being boosted by a specific unit. There's not much more I can say about this because I don't pay enough attention to Toushirou to tell you if this is good or not, so 3/4 of. Then we have Fudou Yukimitsu Kiwame, or as I like to call it, thing I thought was Yusei Fudou the first time I read this because I was listening to Yusei Fudou's theme and I just happened to look at his name and I was like, oh my god, it's Yusei Fudou. But his art does look cool though. I just wish it was more, I don't know, Yusei Fudou colors. It kind of is. Like, if Yusei Fudou was a rich prick. Grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base, Tanto, auto rear guard, this unit boosted grade 2 or greater unit, soul boss 1. Look at the top of your deck, put it at the top or bottom, and then if you boosted a Uchikatana unit, it gets 5k power for the battle. All around pretty solid, can deck stack, and not to mention the fact it can be a 13k booster. So very solid grade 2, or grade 1, yeah, and it can boost any unit, doesn't matter if it's a rear guard or a vanguard, as long as it's a grade 2 or greater. So nice 3/4. If it doesn't work in like really, really late games, and I'm talking about really late game in the sense of both sides have exhausted all their means of attack, and at that point it's just a scramble for who can kill the other one first. So 4 of Fudou or 3 of, because once the really late game goes around, it's a 50-50 bet. But in the early game, and when the game has not resorted to an endless fist fight to see who stops throwing punches first, yeah, Fudou's going to be pretty useful. Then we have Yamabushi Kunihiro Kiwame, or as I like to call it, the thing I swear called out of, I want to say it was One Piece. Right, that's the pirate anime. I don't remember, honestly. It's been fucking forever. Grade 2 and 5k shield, 10k base, act drop zone. If your opponent's vanguards are grade 3 or greater, counter plus 1 to call it. That is... Why is this not an ability in Zorka or just Stoicheia? I feel like with the deck that is focused on drop zone spamming, at some point Stoicheia should have gotten a card like this. But whatever. And then auto was placed on rear guard from your deck or drop zone. This gives 5k power for the turn. Again, I say, Stoicheia easily could have made this a card a long time ago. Why they didn't, I don't know, but whatever. Cool, calls itself from drop, gets a 5k by doing it, can be called from drop or deck for that skill. 3 of 4, I guess, it's just a nice recycler and it's ride deck fodder. Then we have Himetsuru Ichimonji, Great Genesis 5k shield, 10k base. I love the silverish white hair. Auto, when placed on rearguard circle from the hand, look at the top card of the deck, put it back to top or bottom. Cool, free deck stack, and then auto rearguard. When this unit attacks into anything, if your opponent's vanguard is a grade 3 Regardless, soul boss 1 ton of battle, this unit gives 10k for the turn, or for the battle, and at the end of that battle, you can retire this unit to draw a card. You have to retire it to draw a card. All around, pretty solid. It's a 20k swing into anything the turn you play, or the second you place it, you deck stack, and then also it can get retired to draw a card. So, all around, very solid grade 1, or grade 2, very good ability, easy 4 of. Next up, we have the grade 3 I had always thought was coming, and then of course the one I actually knew about was the one that came last, and that is Mutsunokami Yoshiyuki Kiwame Sentou. Man, that is a mouthful. Grade 3 to 9%, 13k base. My favorite one in terms of art is because he's got that red armor. He's got that cool looking sword. Uchi Katana. I thought you were your owner. Yeah, I don't care anymore. Continues Vanguard or Rear Guard is also, it's also considered the original one. And then act Vanguard circles per turn by combat. You want to choose one of your opponent's rear guards and kill it. And then for each of their open backward circles, it gets plus 5k power. So all around pretty solid. It's going to get a guaranteed 5k off that skill because you're probably going to kill something in the back row. And then he gets more power out of it. And then his other skill is Auto Vanguard. If you performed a persona during this turn, his cost may also be paid by Karen Boss 1 instead of doing the other skill. When this unit would attack, put the OG into soul from hand or rear guard, but again, it could also be Karen Boss 1. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Go to one card from one of them called to rear guard and shuffle the deck. And if you have 2 more grade 3s with this card's name and soul, you get to choose up to 2 instead of 1. All around, pretty good ability. It's a simple Karen Boss 1 to kill something, get plus 5k, possibly even more off that. And then also on swing, either Karen Boss 1 or get a card to soul in order to guaranteedly get 1 multi-attack and possibly even 2. All around, very solid skill. All around, I am glad to see this is where Kiwame Sentou, that is not his actual name. This is his actual name, but I'm just going to call him this because we know what I'm talking about. I'm really glad to see that this is where his evolved form goes, and yeah, honestly, if I wanted to play Token Rambo, this would probably be the deck I picked up because it's basically Eugene, but I don't know what I felt like Eugene would have been. And then we have a bunch of promos because we all know this is Bushy's time of the month. Bold Blammer Dragon, Great Tunes at 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear guard, and this unit attacks into a Vanguard. If you have a Vanguard with Scarlet Flame in his card name, take a shot every time I said the word Vanguard during that part of that sentence. This unit gives a 5k power until the battle, and at the end of that battle, Karen Boss 1 retire this unit, choose an opponent's rear guard to retire it, and if you do not retire something, draw a card, choose a card from your drop zone, bind it face down. Opens up rearguard circles, gets draws, binds stuff face down, and is restricted to specifically Gandiva, or really anything that has Scarlet Flame. And again, not bad, because it actually, if I remember correctly, the whole Bridal has Scarlet Flame in their card name. Someone correct me if I'm wrong on that, but all around, pretty good skill, because if I'm right, then that means you can use whenever you feel like it during the ride line. Though, I would not say he's an amazing card, just because it eats up Counterblast, but I still think he's a decent card at that, so, I don't know, 2 over 3 over it. Then we have Galactic B Hero, Broad Fervis. The literal sentence I said while I was putting this thing onto the slides. When will Bushy stop giving these cards, giving this deck 1 card at a time, like how they did, I think it was set 9, and then 1 random promo? When will they actually give heroes support again? I don't like heroes. I made that point very clear when I was doing my deck profile on them, I think. But I do it does kind of bother me that they gave them 1 actual set of support, and then after that 1 set, they fed them only 2 cards, with one of them being a promo. So, and that one of them being this, actually, so there's that. Anyways, Great Genesis 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear guard, the end of this unit attacked. If you have Vanguard B Hero in its card name, so about 1 retire this unit, add a scouted card in your base into your hand, then choose up to 1 base card from your hand or drop zone, put it to your order zone's rest. Now that is a good ability, but they could have stuck on a triple rare and put that into effing set 12 and then give heroes more support. That would have made so much sense on an actual card, no offense to promos, on an actual triple rare. And then just give it one of this, I don't care what it is, it's a 5k skill. Mate, why? It gets a card from the base into the hand for just a Soul Blast, and then it gets you a base from the drop zone or the hand and sets you up for next turn. And you can do this whenever, as long as your Vanguard's a B hero. Hell, if you find a way to call it while you're in grade 1, you can use it on grade 1. Why did they make this way? They could have made this, oh my god. Whoever made this and decided there should be a promo, I want to meet them and slap them for that. 4 of when it comes out, Bushy, start supporting this deck in actual boosters, please. Then we have Close Relationship Risette, grade 3 10% 13k base. Of course, a promo grade 3 can only be supported by a promo grade 3. Continues deck. This unit can also be regarded as Relation Weaver Petraka. I'm not going to try saying that again. I said it once on accident and I can never do it again. Auto Vanguard at the end of your turn, choose one Relation Weaver from your soul, ride it as rest. All around pretty solid. You know, she can be regarded as Patricia, I'm just going to call her that because that's the only way I can pronounce that name, but also because she's regarded as that, what ends up happening is, you know, she'll proc off from Reaver's effect, so she counts as a different name, and then, you know, when she, at the end of the turn, if she got on Vanguard Circle from the Superior Ride, you can then, you know, swap the circle, or, like, return back to the OG, and the continues to be regarded during your turn. If you have Vanguard within the card name, gets plus 5k power. All around pretty solid. You know, she is a really good secondary grade 3 support card for Paltra. I think she works nice for it, and it's just a good 4 for the deck. So, yeah, 4 of, except, of course, she's a promo. And then we have a Blitz Staff Muna. I can already see the furries lining up for this one. Grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base, continuous rear guard. If you have 3 or more cards in your order zone, gets 5k power and cannot be chosen by your opponent's card effects. Active on both players' turns. Cool, a very generic card that can benefit from any deck because she just requires orders. And then her other effect, which is also very generic. Auto rear guard once per turn when a unit is placed on rear guard circle from your order zone during either player's main phase. So about one draw card. I'm sorry, right? Okay, I have no idea what the hell that background noise is, but I didn't know Paltra, or not Paltra, I didn't know that Wellstra can play stuff during the opponent's main phase, and if they can't, then they just found a way. Either way, Muna is a very solid grade 1, you know, she can just get draws, and she also is generic because she can be played through any of the decks, so what's not to like about her 4 of? Then we have, I don't know why the K is so small in this one, and that is Kenshin Kagemitsu Kiwame. Grade 1 boost 5k shield, 8k base. Taito continues back or rear guard circle. During your turn, all your units in the same column as him get plus 2k power, so all around pretty solid. It can count himself, and it also counts the unit in front of it, so that includes the Vanguard. And then auto placed on rear guard circle. If your Vanguard is a grade 3 gear, by counterbalancing 1, discarding 1, search deck for a card with the same name as your Vanguard, add it to your hand and shuffle your deck. This is a Persona Red Searcher. Granted, you have to discard 1 for it, but it's still a good Persona Searcher nonetheless, so easy 3 over 4 because he does end up supporting the board if you call a bunch of them to back row, and again, he searches Persona Red, so there's that. And then we have Toushirou Kiwame, grade 3 200 Persona 13k base, auto and discard it from your deck during your turn. If you have an Otachi ability Kiwame crest, you may call this card to rear guard circle or add it back to your hand, and then auto rear guard when this unit attacks by counterbalancing 1, choose what unit with Jiro Otachi in his card name until end of turn. That and this unit gets 10k for the turn. Cool. So not a once per turn, which granted does cost a CB, but if you find a way to restand it, those 2 units are going to get a constant plus 10 out of this, and just when dropped when you have a specific crest, you can call it to rear guard or bounce it back to hand. 4 of, and I'm loving the introduction of combo cards again. Speaking of combo cards, let's see what the other one is, and that is Jiro Tachi Kiwame. Grade 2 10% 13k base, continuous rear guard. If you have a Taro Tachi unit's card, it gets 10k power. Cool, so she is already a 23k, and then when you combine it with this one, it becomes a 33k. Great. And then auto when placed on rear guard circle by soul blasting 1 and dropping, when you search your deck for a card with Taro Tachi and its card name from here and put it to your hand and shuffle your deck. Cool, so not only can it search it, but it can also auto trigger it. Well, it has to be discarded from decks, never mind. But like, just good skill. Just good skill nonetheless. Like, it gets a swinger, it makes itself bigger just by being placed. Like, 4 of, I like the combo card aesthetic of these two, and I really do like how their art's lined up. Then we have Ishikimaru Kiwame, grade 3 10% 30k base. Auto rear guard, this unit attacks on anything. If all of your units are rested, okay, this unit gets plus 10k power for the turn, or for the battle. And then if you have an Otachi ability, Kiwame crest, choose one of your opponent's rear guards to kill it. So this thing has to attack last, but on the bright side of that, it's a 23k swing that kills something. Cool. At that point, I feel like just playing this would be better. This would be better, but I mean, to each their own, I guess. It's a rear guard swing with 23k. There's that. Then we have Shisho Kiwame, grade 2 and a 5k shield, 9k, 8k base. Auto and placed on rear guard circle. If your opponent's Vanguard is a grade 3 or greater, it's on the turn, it gets plus 5k power. Then if you Persona Road during the turn by current boss, you want to search your deck for a set order, add to the hand and shuffle your deck. Didn't we get a new set order that was supposed to be like all the rage, and then we only waited until, like, what, 3 weeks later now to finally get a card that actually supports that set order? Cool. I mean, that's a good ability, don't get me wrong. It's a 13k and it can search orders. I'm just saying, I don't know, I feel like there could have been more to that, but take that as you will. 2 of, 3 of, like, out of who's better between the 2 cards that search decks. This one, in my opinion, is better, but whatever. Then we have Mede Toushirou Kiwame. The way this one looks, it just implies that they know they're better than you, because they are. Grade 1 boost 5k Shodeke base, auto discard from your hand during your turn, counter boss 1, soul boss 1, draw a card. Okay, you know, not the best ride deck discard, but not the worst ride deck discard either. It does proc off from this, though I wonder why you would do that, because that would just be a Soul Blast 2 and CB1 to basically get a thing to hand, but whatever you take, go with it. Then we have Hakata Toushirou Kiwame. This one looks like it's going to rob you, because I swear when I looked at this looked like a pocket knife to me. Grade 1 boosts 5 Shodeke base, continues rear guard for a battle in which this unit boosts your rear guard. If you have a Tanto body crest, your opponent cannot call grade 1s or greater from hand to guard circle, units from hand to guard circle, so pretty solid, restricts guarding power, and then auto rear guard. And when it attacked, it boosts hits a vanguard, counter boss 1, soul boss 1 to draw a card. Yeah, the counter charger was better. The one from earlier, I think, was Soul Blast 1 and kill it, or discard 1 and kill it. Either way, the one that counter charged with pink hair, that's the one that was better. I mean, it's still good, though, because it can restrict grade 1 or graders for 2 different rear guard attacks, but, like, I don't know, could definitely be better, but it could also very much be worse, so I'll take what I can get. Then we have Yagen Toushirou Kiwame, grade 1 boost, 5 Shodeke base. Auto and place on rear guard, rest this unit, choose 2 cards from your drop zone, Toushirou or Kokotai and their card names, put them into your soul. Cool, that is just a free soul charge 2. Don't even have to question it, don't even have to think about it. If you lose a rear guard, you get 2 soul cards out of it. I think that's a fair enough exchange for me. 2 of. Then we have Akashi Kuniyuki Kiwame, grade 2 and set 5k shield, 10k base. Another card that believes he is better than you and probably is. Auto from a rear guard circle once per turn. When this unit stands outside of your stand phase, soul boss 1, draw a card, and under turn this gives 10k. Cool, another card that benefits from multi-attacking, because Bushi has given every other deck the ability to stand rear guards. This is not just going for Token Rambu, this is just in general, because that's just how D works. So, 4 of this, I guess, because like almost half the Token Rambu decks can proc this off now. And now we have a card I swear comes from anime, Aizen Kunitoshi Kiwame. This thing looks like an anime protagonist. Look at it, he's got the red hair, he's got like the band-aid on his nose, and we all know for like half anime characters, they have a band-aid somewhere on their face, and then he has like that sword in the stance. Grade 1 boost 5k Shodeke base, auto rear guard. When it boosts a grade 2 or greater, it gets plus 5k power, all around solid skill. Like, it's not horrible. It would be better if it was like it gets a 5k for the turn, but it gets 5k regardless, so take that as you will. It's a nice 3 of. He does have a cool art to him, I'll give him that, but I swear because he even has the yellow undershirt, and no other card I see here has like an well, I guess this one does, but like, that's an anime undershirt if I've ever seen one. This card's an anime card, I believe it with all parts of my soul. And then we have Chiyoganemaru Kiwame. Not even going to pretend like I said any of that right. Grade 2 and set 5k shield, 10k base. Active rear guard once per turn. Counter boss 1 time to turn all your rear guards with Chantanana Kiri and Chiyoganemaru. I'm not going to try repronouncing either of those two in their card. And you get plus 5k power. So cool, just a 5k for the entire board, and then continues rear guard during a battle in which this unit attacked. This unit gets 5k power for each of your units with the specified names in their card names. Cool. All around pretty solid, can pump up an entire board if your entire board's up for it, and it can also pump itself up. All around, not a bad grade 2, has a really nice support to it, and I do like its art, so I'm willing to give it that 4 of slap for it. And now we have our final reveals for the Token Rambu set. First up we have Azuki Nagomitsu Kiwame, grade 2 and set 5k shield, 10k base, continues rear guard, all your opponent's rear guards and column as it cannot intercept. It's pretty nice, so locks down intercepting, and then it continues rear guard during a battle which this unit attack. If its critical is exactly 2, when your opponent call cards for hand guard, so them must call 2 or more at the same time. Okay, around pretty interesting. You know, he's got that secret agent vibe, and by secret agent I mean he just looks like Donji to me. I don't know why I see Donji in him, but he can also lock down intercept, and he basically just makes it harder for your opponent to guard. And all around, I think his ability is pretty solid. Like, I like him. He has like that nice pressure to him. Downside is he has to have exactly 2 critical for that blocking ability, but it is what it is. So it's a nice like 2 of 3 of, because you don't want to over critic, but it's still pretty nice. And then of course we have Maru Kunihiro Kiwame, grade 2 set 5k shield, 10k base, auto rear guard Shiken Hyatsu. When this unit attacks a vanguard, this unit gets 5k power for the battle, and then if you have not countercharged this turn, soul boss 1 countercharge 1. Again, pretty solid countercharge. Granted, it's a hard once per turn on that countercharge ability, but it's still pretty good. And then auto, when it's put on guard circle, cost counter boss 1 to draw a card. All around pretty nice because he has the benefit of when you guard with him, he has the chance to increase your hand for more guarding power, and on attack he has a guaranteed 15k swing if you have 3 or more damage, and then he can possibly countercharge 1. All around very solid grade 2, works really well for the CB heavy decks, and not to mention the fact that he also can get you more guarding power through his own skill. I can't wait for them to print the effect triggers that have that as a skill, because honestly that is a good skill. Just a nice solid 3 of, because I don't think you want to see too many of him, but he's still a pretty good card to run at that. And then our last card is the last grade 3, who I somehow forgot about, and that is Yamabushi Kunihiro Kiwame Sentou. Grade 3 champion, 13k base. Okay, I gotta say though, I do love that stance of his. Continuous vanguard or rear guard. This unit is also regarded as Yamabushi Kunihiro Kiwame, and then continuous vanguard circle during your turn. If your soul has 2 or more grade 3 cards with Yamabushi Kunihiro in their card names, all your farm units get plus 5k power, and then this unit gets a critical. All around pretty solid because he can pump his front row up by 5k, and then he gets a critical. My only thing is this is the worst skill of all of them because it requires you to already have 2 specific ones in soul. The other ones could always do something without having the ones in soul. This one requires specifically that you have at least 2 in soul, but I mean it's still a good ability nonetheless because it can make himself double critical. And then auto vanguard if you persona during this turn, this cost may be by count plus 1 instead, which as per usual, and then at the end of the battle that it attacked into anything, put a card the same card name as this unit from your hand or rear guard into the soul, or count plus 1, and then draw a card, choose up to 1 card from your hand, call it to rear guard, get plus 10k and a crit for the turn. All around pretty solid. It gets you a rear guard, and then it gets a 10k and a crit. This is the only one that I think doesn't restrict from, because this is a direct copy and paste, and I think this is the only one that doesn't restrict the opponent to be at grade, or for you to have a specific 2 in soul. So honestly, this is one of my favorites because while yes, this ability locks it down to it having to have the 2 in soul, this one you can play whenever, which is great, and it will still get the benefit out of it. So all around I really like it. Definitely adds pressure. It makes this thing more powerful because then he's a 20k double critical swinger that has to be bought with 2 or more cards and can nullify intercepts. And if you want to rook with this one, you can. So all around, I like his skill a lot, and he doesn't cost CB for it. I think he's an amazing grade 3, and I'm now understanding why I forgot him before, and I'm disappointed in myself because he was actually one of my favorites originally. And without further ado, that is the final card from Toushirou Ranbu. Next time we will be covering the reveals for set 12, including some reveals for Eugene and Solarian. So I'm gonna end it here. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join us on Twitch, and I'll see you once going to set up your vanguards.
Thank you.